let's get to the NBA. Rob G, I want to bring him in on this bombshell. When I woke up this morning, I saw this thing about the idea that the Warriors, they were looking at LeBron's comments and thinking maybe he's frustrated in L.A. Maybe, just maybe, we can have another title run when we get LeBron and Steph to play together. They already got KD. That got them 2 championships. Maybe they can team up LeBron and Steph and win a few more, Rob G. How shocked were you when you heard this nugget?
Well, I'll tell you what wasn't shocking about the story, Rob Parker, is that the way it reads, according to ESPN, the person who instigated the entire recruitment of LeBron James to Golden State was Draymond Green, who has a history of saying, you know what, my team's not good enough. Let me get the biggest, baddest dude on the block to fight my battles for me because I can't do it by myself.
He's also a LeBron yes man.
Yes, he is. But remember, he did the same thing with Kevin Durant. Remember, they lost to LeBron. He's like, we can't beat these guys. I got to call KD from the parking lot and know he's a free agent. Maybe he'll come to Golden State.
And then he ran him out of town, right?
And then he ran him out of town. And then now that he realized they don't have enough to do it again, he's like, hey, I saw LeBron putting out the hourglass emoji, passive-aggressive Bron. Let me see if I can get him up here in the Bay. So ultimately what happened was Draymond Green told his ownership, hey, I think LeBron wants out of L.A. Let's go get him. So his owner calls Jeannie Buss directly, because they're tight like that apparently, and says, hey, we want to trade for LeBron James. What do you think? And Jeannie Buss, being the owner that she is, decides, you know what? I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm going to let LeBron James decide where he wants to go. I'm going to say, go talk to Rich Paul. If LeBron wants to go to Golden State, maybe we'll talk about it. If not, then we won't. So apparently they reached out. Rich Paul and LeBron said, no, we have no interest in going to Golden State right now. We'd rather stay in Los Angeles. And that was the end of the story. So the headline today reads, Golden State contacts Lakers about LeBron. Lakers say no.
I think Rob G, Alan Lee, the Lakers made a big mistake. When they made that call, I would have been ready to move on from LeBron. I mean, he doesn't impact winning. Think about his tenure here, Alan Lee. If it wasn't for that bubble championship, it would really be raggedy and almost a disaster. Years they didn't make the playoffs. They traded away all these young guys that they had stockpiled, thought they had a good team to go with LeBron. And now, even with the numbers he's putting up in year 20, they don't impact winning. And not only that, LeBron's making all this money, and now the Bronny situation is going to come next, Alan Lee, right? Mm-hmm. He's at USC. They got a bad basketball team at USC. Bronny's averaging 5 or 6 points. Anybody else wouldn't be coming out for the NBA draft.
Right.
Alan Lee, am I missing something?
Right. And, I obviously, because my son goes to USC.
He's one of my students, right.
Right. He covers the games a lot. And I watch all the USC games. I applaud Bronny because I'm so happy that he's actually this is my thing with Bronny. I don't even really look so much at where he is basketball-wise because he's still working himself back in shape. No, it's great he's back on the court. Right. Kid had a cardiac arrest. It's amazing he's even on the floor. So I celebrate that with all my heart to see that kid even out there. But for these people who want to break down his game and do all, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of unfair to me. But, yeah, you never know, though. But that whole discussion about Bronny coming out, and I don't think there's an NBA executive that says, yeah, we'll draft him.
No, if they think they can get LeBron, remember, Rob G, correct me if I'm wrong, he has a player option.
Yep.
Right?
That is correct.
So he can, Alan, if it's the Charlotte Hornets or whatever, and they want to draft Bronny, he could opt out of his contract with the Lakers and play there with his son.
It's obviously he doesn't need money, but do you want to walk away from $51.4 million?
No, but they could pay him something else. He's getting money. I don't think money is really the issue. I think it's the idea of playing with his son. But if I'm the Lakers, they might have missed a golden opportunity.
Yeah, reportedly the 76ers also called. And I think when the question was, well, are you giving up Embiid? I think that,
obviously, if you're making that deal, you're Philadelphia, you're not giving up Embiid. Right. You're going to give up everybody else. You got to keep Embiid. Otherwise, what's the purpose of making that trade?
With the Warriors, I wonder if the conversation got beyond, are you willing to trade LeBron to Or what are you willing to give us? What's the
No,
package?
I'm sure it was exactly the way they said it. Like Jeannie said, well, talk to LeBron and his people before we even talk about anything. If they're not interested, then we're not going to even talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get a feeler. I'm saying if they call me and I'm Jeannie Buss, I'm like, hey, let me talk to those guys. And what are you talking about here? Because I would be interested moving forward.
Right.
And then they got what they wanted out of LeBron. Alan Lee, you got a championship. Mickey Mouse or not, bubble or not, you got a championship with LeBron. What are you expecting? Look at the Western Conference. They're like 9th or 10th. They're not a good team. They're not winning a title. Right. They're not.
But if you're,
what are you holding on to? The tickets are already bought for the season.
Yeah, but if you're LeBron and Jeannie ask you whether you want to get traded, he has to say no. You know why he has to say no? Because if you still engage in the GOAT conversation, for LeBron to pick up again and go play for the Warriors, he would be destroyed by the people who are in the GOAT conversation. So you cannot even begin to compare him to Jordan now. There is no way he could have said yes to that.
I get that part, but I'm looking at this from the Lakers standpoint. That people were interested in trading for a guy who's 39 now? 20 years, what is he, 38? Going to be 39?
Yeah.
20 years in the league, the wear and tear, we already talk about it, the impact. He puts up really good numbers. They just don't win a lot, right?
Right.
If you can move off somebody like that and someone has value, the Lakers are going to sell tickets whether LeBron's there or not, Alan Lee. You know that. This is Los Angeles.
Oh, exactly. But I think it goes back to your other point, though. Like, if you honestly think Bronny's going to come out, I think he needs another year of college.
Dude, with LeBron on year 21 or 2, you waiting another? I don't believe it.
I don't think he's going to get drafted if he's coming out. That's the whole thing. So you either have to sign him as a free agent, or he's going to have to go to the G League.
I think somebody will draft him.
Ooh, I just think there's too many other good players in the country to take that gamble. He needs another year of college at least.
I agree with you, but I'm talking about if they think they could have a chance to also get LeBron. Like, that's the part.
Yeah.
That's the carrot
and
that
if
they're
that
waving.
happens, then Jeannie really looks bad because he walked anyway, and you got nothing.
And you got nothing. That is my point.
Unless you do a sign and trade kind of thing.
I don't know. I think LeBron's tenure is checkered at best. And I know people say, he won a title. He won a title. How do you say it's checkered? This was not what I was expecting when he not only came here, Allen, when they were able to pull off the trade for Anthony Davis.
When they gave up everything for Anthony Davis?
Is this what you expected? That
No.
they would be scuffling at this point?
No.
LeBron would be putting up points and they're at 500 team?
And at the end of every season, once you get down to the second half of the season, it's always, we need more.
Right. We need to trade. We need to make more wholesale changes. We need to make trades.
Right.
I don't see it. Rob G, you're the resident Lakers fan. Are you the LeBron's tenure? Is it checkered? Are you okay with it because they won a championship? Or is it stinky? If you touched it, you'd have to wash your finger.
Wow, Rob.
Wow, that's a little deep.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm
You're like you were almost in safe harbor.
Right.
No, you know what, Rob? I think checkered is the right word because as a Laker fan, we are not the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, winning one championship does not satisfy Laker fans.
Right. For them, it was the first one in 50 years or whatever, so they're satisfied.
For the Lakers, we win 2 or 3 a decade. Like, this, getting one is not as big of a deal to us as it is to some other franchises. If this was Orlando, he'd have a statue already while he's playing, right? Because they don't win anything over there. But to your point, they got the one championship, which was great. But the rest of the 4.5, 5 years has been very uneven, has some of the most disappointing, uninspired basketball that I've ever seen. And I lived through the Robert Sacre, Jeremy Lin, Nick Young era, right? Like
That's right. And
when
the Smush
Parker, the Smush. When Kobe Bryant was on, I think, Jimmy Kimmel, and they show him the team celebrating after losing 8 straight games and how disgusted he was. Like, I lived through that era. But the difference was that we didn't have any expectations at that time. So it was, this is embarrassing, but, it is what it is. When LeBron came here and they got AD, the expectation was not just that we're going to compete, it was that we should be one of the favorites. And year in and year out, they go through these lows where they almost quit on the team, usually right around the trade deadline. And the Russell Westbrook fiasco, where they were one of the most disappointing teams in NBA history. They have all those Hall of Famers, and they missed the playoffs. Like, it's a very uneven tenure in Los Angeles. That's
what I'm saying. It is definitely checkered. You know, like some people would say, oh, you got your championship. And that's what I'm saying. Jeannie Buss should have been like, well, we got our championship. The LeBron era wasn't a total bust. You know what I mean? It wasn't what we expected. We got AD locked up for years to come. Move off of LeBron. He doesn't impact winning the way he used to. And then we're going to have to deal with this Bronny situation. Let us just wash our hands with this, Alan.
Rob, you know what, though? Some Laker fans, I tell you, they are willing to just give excuses for the biggest thing. I remember I saw some Laker fans who were saying during the Kobe statue unveiling, how could the NBA schedule the Denver Nuggets on Kobe's statue night? Like it was too tough of a game for the Lakers to probably have to win.
Right, they wanted a cupcake. Right, they wanted a cupcake.
Like you play the schedule. Well, I was supposed to give you a.
That was supposed to be a big night. The Lakers and Denver, right? That's a big game.
Right. I like Kobe would say like, yeah, bring it on. I'm not gonna sit here and worry about. So what they scheduled the Nuggets? Beat them. Compete.
Unbelievable.